way of Will John.
People, what's up? We have today 𝗪𝗟𝗪, who is a verified porn star on Pornhub. She is up for 3 Pornhub awards. All 3 of Violet's nominations are from her massive popularity on the iconic site. She is currently ranked in the top 20 and has over 201 million video views and 302,000 subscribers. One of the most searched, subscribed, and liked performers on the site. Her love of anime and cosplay also led her to start her own YouTube channel. When she's not working for a major adult studio or filming content for her OnlyFans and clip stores, you will find her shooting for her YouTube channel, working on her influencer status, modeling clothes, appearing in music videos, and enjoying the finest in anime. And of course, adopting cats. Violet, what's up? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I always love the guests that ask me. I say this all the time. Normally I ramble a whole lot about you and then I say, what's up? How you doing? And they just go, yeah, I'm cool. And they don't ask about me. So thank you. I am also good. We have a lot to talk about. You know, you have a very unique job in a probably a very unique life. And I shouldn't say job because much like you, I do a whole lot. I'm a soccer player. We run this other YouTube business. We do some stuff with languages and all this other stuff, you know? So to give us some background, can you please tell us how one gets to this point? What does this, how do we get here? Why here? Why is Violet top 20 in Pornhub? How does this happen?
It all starts with, being a viewer. I grew up kind of like, I didn't grow up watching it, but like, I was always curious and I loved this fantasy of just being a porn star. I remember just being in college. I was torn on what I wanted to do because originally I was in school for clinical psychology, but I've always been really a very sexual person. So I always thought this was like the perfect industry for me. I started off doing webcamming and going to school,
Mhm.
and I wanted to bring my audience, I wanted to broaden my audience and get bigger in the cam world. And so I started doing adult. I just made a tweet saying I wanted to be a porn star. I got recruited, and then ever since 2018, I've really been doing this. It all started because I just wanted to gain more followers and a following
Wow.
on my cam.
Okay. So it starts with a tweet. You sent out a tweet. Let's details on this. You sent out a tweet said I want to be a porn star. A lot of people say a lot of stuff on Twitter, and it
Yeah.
doesn't end up in them becoming a massively, popular porn star. So after that happens, you go to your first shoot, or you say you get recruited. Like,
Yeah, I got
tell me
recruited.
what this is like because this is not different. This is going to be a whole lot different than I'm. What's that like?
It's so different. Like usually you can just put in an application just like a porn companies or to work with or whatever. But I was just tweeting like I want to be a porn star. Like just, I didn't think anybody was gonna see it. And then my agent, his recruiter that he had people recruiting on social media and sexy jobs, he found me on Twitter, just normal girl, just on Twitter. I used to post like sexy things on my
Mhm.
Twitter, so maybe that's kind of what helped me. But no, he just found me. He was like, "Hey, get on a call with me. Let's talk." And this was like a verified porn star. Like he was helping my agent at the time. So that's pretty much how he discovered me. And like it was like a 4-hour phone call with me and my mom. We were just
Uh,
making sure everything was legit. And then the next day I flew to Florida and started my career.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
How quickly to have this meteoric rise? And I mean, there's got to be a huge difference between what you were doing when you first started and what you
Yeah.
do now. Because when you have success in any field, you start to be able to choose. You can kind of make some more rules about what you do, when you do, all these sort of things. So at the beginning, it had to have been like, all right, do I just do this because it's what I got to do? I mean, you always seem to have had the vision in place. Are you at a place now where you're basically okay, I feel like I'm running the shit. Like I know what's up, Or how did that I'm more curious about like this day-to-day process also of, you know, what do you do when like how let's go back. Let's go back since I'm rambling on about all this stuff. What is a normal shoot day like for a porn star? Like you wake up in the morning, you're like, I gotta get my Cheerios in. You treat it like a game, gotta work
Yeah.
out. Like how does that work?
Well, we do call ourselves sexual athletes because, having sex is a sport, really. Like you are getting a lot of
Okay.
cardio in. So, in my normal day, usually it's I'll get a call time. So usually they're in between like 8 to 9 a.m., sometimes even 7 a.m. So I have to wake up like at 5:30 to wake up. Usually I like to schedule my workout days in between shoots. So if I have a shoot on Monday, I'll work out the day before or after. But I'll wake up, take a shower, eat breakfast. I usually get like Starbucks. I don't really cook. I don't like to cook before a shoot. I like to eat something light, but like super heavy on protein and have my caffeine because those are long days
Okay.
being set. Yeah, especially when there's a script. It can be an all day type of thing. So I just like to, get up early, shower, and just get my food and then head to set. Usually it's in the valley. So I'm in LA and driving
Right.
to the valley from LA is like 45 to an hour drive. So I have to make sure I'm up early. But I'm a morning person, so I'm usually up already.
Okay.
And then when I get to set, get my hair and makeup done. They check our tests first.
Mhm.
No, actually, they first check our tests and
Right.
then like our COVID test and our STD test, and then we can do hair and makeup, give us our script, or usually we'll have the script beforehand, and then we get to shooting, choosing our outfits. And for people that don't know, we actually bring our own stuff to sets, unless it's like a specific scene that they have in mind, like
Uh-huh.
a costume. We have to bring our own lingerie, our own shoes, our own clothes. Sometimes we have to bring our own makeup in case there's a different shade that we have, or if the makeup artist isn't that great, we have to do our own touch ups. So
Okay.
it's kind of like a Hollywood set, really, but it's
Right.
just a set.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's crazy. Are you nervous about having sex in front of a bunch of people? Like, did that ever?
Yeah, I still get really nervous, because it's just, even if I've been in this for like a few years, it still gets like, I still get like nervous and excited, but like in a good way,
Okay.
especially like when there's like 10 people on set. Like, I just don't like it when people record me because that can
Mm.
be uncomfortable sometimes. But for the most part, once the cameras are on and I'm into it, I don't give a fuck if there's 20 people watching
Right.
me. I'm really enjoying the scene because I really love what I do, and I love the fact that people watch me and they get
Uh-huh.
to masturbate to me. So I want to make sure I have like the best performance when they're about
Right.
to, you know.
So you treat this exactly as any artist would treat their scene that they have. For you, the sex scene, for you, you can break that down and just I'm trying to and what is that like? What does that mean? Does it mean that you need to have a really good connection with who you're with? I mean, you probably do solo stuff also. Like how do you keep that? What makes what do you feel like when you're giving your best? You know, what is that
Okay.
actually like?
Yeah, I love it. So there's two different parts. So if I'm doing a solo, I'm like really heavy into it with the eye contact on the camera and making sure
Uh-huh.
like the viewer really feels like man, this person's really into like fucking themselves. And then when I'm doing like my boy girl scenes, my threesomes, my girl girls,
Mhm.
like all those kind of scenes, I definitely like to get to know the person, like hang out with them for a little bit. Like if it's two girls, we
Mhm.
like to do our hair and makeup together. We're talking, getting to know each other. We know our boundaries. I like to like say a no and like a do's and don'ts. So like, what do you like? What don't you like? So I don't cross those boundaries and it's not awkward.
Yeah.
But I like to get into it. So like, if the person isn't really into it, I'll like try to hide that and not. It's because it's really mental. But what I like to tell them is like, "Hey, people are gonna be masturbating to this. I love to give a great performance. Like, my sexual life on camera and off camera are two different things because I like to be a
Mhm.
performer. I like to do all these tricks and get super sloppy and do all these things versus, like, in my private life, I'm very just, like, intimate and I
Right.
like kissing. But when I'm on camera, I like to be a beast. And that's when Violet comes out, and I feel like that's why I've been top 20 because they could
Okay.
see it, like, I'm not just doing it for money, like, I fucking love fucking.
Right, right.
Um,
So then you said that like, okay, Violet likes to be a beast and likes to do all these things. Do you have
yeah,
something you're known for? Like, do you have like what do people or what are your fans? Are they like, oh shit, Violet is the greatest at
sucking dick.
sucking dick? Okay. Okay, so blowjobs are just like your
100%, like,
okay.
because I have like I just naturally have a lot of saliva, so I
Okay.
use that to my advantage when I'm doing the blowjobs. And I'm like one of those girls who just genuinely enjoys giving it. I don't like
Okay.
receiving it, but I like giving.
Say that again. I didn't hear you. Sorry.
I don't like receiving. I like giving.
Okay. I see. So that act of the performance is the thing that really gets you
Yeah,
going, and that's what you become known for. That is interesting.
I've
Okay.
had I've had people say like they usually skip that part, but they for me for my videos they're like I have to watch that. Like I can just
Uh-huh.
watch that and nut and then go to the sex and then like nut again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, before I'll come back to this because I'm curious on how your mind works on all these things. Do you have greater aspirations in the sense of, okay, now I've achieved this goal. You know, when I was younger, I wanted to be a porn star. Boom, you got there, right? I don't know when you feel, and obviously you're still going to be working on your craft, trying to be better, always getting better. But what's next? Are you going to transition this into an acting career on outside of the adult film industry? Are you more curious or interested in all the stuff that you're doing outside with your anime, with your YouTube and influencer? Are you going to start the clothing line? Like, how are you going to do this? Like, what is the real goal here?
So, realistically, I've always wanted to be a philanthropist. I didn't really think I was going to be like a porn star because I was going to school for clinical psychology. So, one of my goals was no matter what I was doing, was to just help people and give back because, like, that's basically how I've always been as a little kid. So, growing up, I didn't really think I was going to be a porn star, but even now, like, life just takes you random places, but you just kind of have
Yeah.
to like go with it and just figure it out. But I've always wanted to help people. So, you know, doing this and realizing I have a platform, I want to be like an influencer, but I want to like help people. So eventually when I'm done and everything, I would love to like go back into like the industry, but like be like the off camera and just like kind of help girls
Mhm.
and guys too like that are still figuring out what they want to do, help them with like their management and money and business, helping them grow a platform outside of the adult industry so they're set and they don't have to rely on shooting and they make their money outside of it. So I've kind of learned to like wanting to be like a manager and just like not an agent but just kind of help girls like run their OnlyFans or run their sites or do something for them to help them grow into this popularity that I've been able to have because I did this all on my own. A lot of people doubted me. They were like, there's no way this girl's gonna be like big. But me being like a super nerd kind of like helped me a lot and showed my personality. And I feel like a lot of girls, that's what they need is kind of guidance. And
Sure.
I would love to do that and just make money off of that, just helping people. And eventually I would love to like go to like Mexico or go to other places and just like help people. Cause there's this like guy I follow on TikTok. He goes to like South America and he goes to Mexico and he just builds houses. He gives money to people and like he helps him and his followers, like they donate and they help him achieve all these stuff. So that's, like, kind of where I'm going
Mhm.
towards,
Okay.
um, yeah, and just running my own businesses,
I got
like
you. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you clearly have the entrepreneurial bug, and it takes a lot of drive and ambition. And I'm sure I don't know how cutthroat the industry is, but I can imagine in any place where you're competing. Like I'm as a soccer player growing up, it's just the agents do this, coaches do this. There's lots of money involved, and and things just they get messy, right? And it's really easy to quit. It's really easy to get caught up in the dark side of sports. And that's exactly what I wanted to ask you about because there's a dangerous side to this industry.
yeah.
Did you experience any of that in the come up?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I've been around some, like, crazy, like, people, like, bad influences. You really are who you surround yourself with. So, I've had to cut off a lot of people because in the beginning when I started, a lot of people that I was friends with were hooked on drugs and they were making all this money. So they were just that's what they wanted to spend their money on. But I was really lucky where I had like an agent that really took care of me and made sure, that's not what was going to be my path. And I was kind of innocent going into it too, because I still find myself kind of innocent because I'm still learning a lot of sexual things, but I've always watched it, but never really. gone into it, it can be really, really scary, especially when you get invited to parties, and then, there's
Hmm.
people that are offering you all these things, and especially when people offer you money to do things that you don't feel comfortable with doing. So
Right.
I've kind of just learned to have a strong head and have good people around me so I don't fall into that, because you can fall into it easily. We have so much access to all these things. Um, but I choose to have a
Yeah.
strong head because I have a lot of people that I support. So if I fall into everything, everything crashes, and a lot
Sure.
of people depend on me. So I can't really fall into that.
Yeah, I mean, that goes back to what I was saying, to have the entrepreneurial bug. Like, if you have this sort of ambition, like you do, that's greater than, where you're at right now, it's going to keep you pretty straight and pretty set up on, what to do and how to do and stuff like that. So, I mean, I want to kick it off to some other stuff just to give you some background on us as well, because we also have a similar idea. That's for us, right? I mean, we're soccer players. A lot of the guys in our company, one of them actually plays on my team right now. But we have something else called 𝗪𝗟𝗟𝗡 languages, which is I speak 9 languages fluently. And so on our TikTok, for instance, all you'll see is right now either soccer stuff or me running around the streets surprising people by speaking a whole bunch of different languages. So you picked Spanish. What's your background? Are you Hispanic by chance?
Yeah, I'm Mexican,
You're
but
Mexican.
yeah, I'm not fully Mexican. I'm half Mexican. So my
Okay.
dad comes from Turkish descent, but I would say I didn't really
Okay.
have my dad in my life, so I say I'm full Mexican, even though I don't really look it.
Okay. Okay. Have you? I had 2 preseasons in Guadalajara, Mexico, which is awesome, actually, and I would love to get back there. But do you speak any other languages by chance?
Yeah, I speak English and Spanish.
You speak English and Spanish. Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Um, Interesting. Well, apart from what's going on, you obviously have the anime and the cosplay and all that stuff. Can I ask you a question about OnlyFans? You're on OnlyFans, yes?
Yes.
So there was this. I don't remember which celebrity it was. It's not Jennifer Lawrence. There was a celebrity that was on OnlyFans that a lot of the, let's say, amateur users on OnlyFans were pissed off about because she was sucking away all of the, either the money, the attention. The rates were. I don't know if you remember. Do you remember who that was?
Bella Thorne.
Bella Thorne. Bella Thorne. Okay. So, I mean, you are in a different category though, as someone on OnlyFans, right? Because you have a lot of things that you're able to sustain: the YouTube channel, the modeling, all this other stuff. What's your take on this on OnlyFans for those people, and what's your take on OnlyFans for girls just growing up in general? Like, 20 years ago, something like this did not exist, and
Mm.
now you have a whole world where women are able to earn money, become influential, and really start doing things way outside. So what's your take on this? Is this a good thing or a bad thing for the younger generation, or how do you see it?
Um, whew. It's a mix. It can be a mix because I feel like it's great because women can be, and men too, can be financially free.
Mm,
So when OnlyFans came out, we didn't have to rely on just shooting professional scenes. And I love the fact that girls who are not who are not in the adult industry are getting their hands on it because they're able to like see like and make their own money and make like be creative in a way, whether they're doing adult content or not. But the bad thing can be, when girls see like, oh, they're making so much money and it's easy access, like as soon as they turn 18, start taking my clothes off. And I feel like they should really think about if this is a good idea or not, since once you're out there, and your job, it can, if you want to do this for money, I think they should like wait and think about it seriously until they're like in their 20s, because I didn't start doing what I did until I was like 22.
mhm.
So I was able to kind of figure out what I wanted to do in life. So before I do this jump into this kind of world, you it can be mentally a lot, because you're now, people from your school are going to contact you and like see your nudity. I've had people like harass me from high school trying to like leak my personal info. It can be dangerous. So like when girls
Right.
see us making that much money, it's not like that for everybody. That's called OnlyFans because you have a fan base, so I feel like it can be good and bad, because
Okay.
now like 18-year-olds are going to want to like take their clothes off and do this, and then once they turn 20 they want to stop, and they just not that they ruined their life, but they kind of just,
They regret it.
yeah.
Yeah. So you're not in that boat though.
Yeah.
And and I get that. So there are all these interesting philosophical discussions that one can have about women involved in the adult film industry. I mean,
Mhm.
the classics, and I've got another question here, which we're going to be basically debunking myths, or the stuff that people kind of understand or do understand. Ask a porn star, I guess we'll just call that segment. But
Mhm.
uh, there's this philosophical debate on what drives women to be in there, and based on what you're saying to me, I mean, you've heard this. I mean, there's no way that this is news to you, right? They're going to say issues with the growing up, either daddy issues, right? I don't know, abuse, possibly. They will say, I can't think of some of the other stereotypes, but
There's a
based on
lot.
the fact that you're in and you have friends, I assume, that are also porn stars or just getting into the business or have been in the business for a long time. Do you find that to be true at all, or
You know what? I was the same way. I was like, why are these girls getting into it? They like, but when you get into the scene, you're like, oh wow, these are like business people, these are professionals. A lot of for like the reason why I did it was because I was just a horny person, but
Mhm.
when you get into it, you kind of like you have to switch to business because at the end of the day, yeah, you're having sex, but at this point you have to like you're already out there, so you might as well make a name for yourself and make a career out of what you do. But you have to have a business mindset because you have to be on social media. You have to create like your brand basically, because once you start getting those fans, you're going to want to make money out of that, because this can literally end forever. The adult industry can shut down at any time. So I can't give you a reason why a lot of people want to get into it, but I know for a lot of us, it's because we're sexually liberated people. We just feel like
Mhm.
this is like our home, because growing up, I was always very sexually frustrated, and I've always wanted to have sex, and I felt like I had the skills for it. So, and
Right?
there's no girls that look like me, so that's kind of the reason why I wanted to do it too.
Gotcha.
So people can have someone like their imagination to like a big booty Latina or whatever, because there's
Sure.
always a specific look they go for. But there's a lot of stereotypes about reasonings why I have met girls where it's unfortunate where they have like trauma and stuff that kind of like eventually led them into this because of the money. But for the most part, a lot of people see it as a business opportunity to get your name out there and get like
Mhm.
fame and
Sure.
followers, so you can create more opportunities and businesses for yourself that you can't just do like if you go to school.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. And I mean, and it's quicker to some degree. I don't know. I mean, there's probably aspects of the job, and that's kind of where I wanted to go. There's aspects of the job because people just look at it and say, "Oh, you're just having sex on screen, right?" They're just gonna,
Yeah.
or
They're
like,
like, "Take it easy."
yeah, it's got to be easy, right? And so it's not. So you're
Oh,
telling me it's
dude,
not.
no. Oh my god. You know what Ricky Johnson told me when I first got into the industry?
Who's that? Who's that? I don't
No,
know.
he's a very popular male porn star.
Okay.
So I was new. I was living in this model house, like with a bunch of porn stars, and I was maybe like a few weeks into the industry. And he's like, "You're either gonna make it in 6 months or you're not gonna make it. So, in between those 6 months, create a name for yourself, stand out. Don't just rely on your performance. Do something that's gonna make people remember you." So that's what I remember from the beginning, and that's kind of what stuck to me to kind of like create this brand of Violet Myers.
Yeah. Okay. You mentioned living in a model house. But
Mhm.
this model house is full of women in the adult film business or actual models?
No, porn stars. It was a
Porn
porn star.
stars. So a bunch of porn stars just live in a house. What's
Yeah,
that
it's like
like?
a sorority. It was honestly, it was great because I didn't get to be in a sorority in college, but I
Okay.
will say it was really hard because a lot of girls are freaking dirty. But it was cool too because this house was owned by Cam Soda and Reality Kings, which is MindGeek that owns like browsers and all of them.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically, it was a live stream that people can literally watch me sleep 24/7. It was a different experience for sure,
Whoa.
but it kinda
Okay.
helped me too because a lot of my fans, when I was new, they got to see, like, me basically living in this webcam house. I mean, you could even go look at it right now on this, like, website on Camsoda. It was a
Okay.
voyeur house I was living in. It was cool, because I was freshly single and like I was out of high school. Out of high school. I'm sorry, out of college. I was on
Uh,
summer break, so like it felt like a sorority house. I got to be with like a bunch of porn stars who were like my age and
right.
just like have friends that do what I do and also like they enjoy what they do and it was cool. It was like living in a sorority house but with like porn stars.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, you're around a bunch of like-minded people who are trying to get better at what they're doing.
Trying to make a
And
living.
if we go back to that, so like we said, a bunch of people think that maybe it's a little tough, or sorry, that it's not so tough. Maybe they think it's tough mentally. I think people can understand that because, right, you're meeting someone you may not know who you're having sex with that day very well, right? And that's a consistent thing. So first off, I'm curious, how many shoots? Like, what's a day? Like, is it like, do you have to grind like an everyday thing? Like,
Mm.
boom, 7 days. It's just like every day, new person, new people, new experiences, or is it like okay, now I'm just 1 month, I'm gonna do 1, 2, or what's the schedule like?
It really depends on the girl. Cause if the girl's like really in high demand, she can work every single day.
Wow.
But yeah, I know, and like have a day in between. But for me, it was different. I would only shoot like maybe 4 times a month. It wasn't really a lot, and most of the time, I was working with the same people. It was kind of, you know, what's great? We get a call sheet.
Hmm.
So what the call sheet has, it's like the date, the time, the person you're going to be working for. Sometimes what you have to bring to set. So we do our research. Like if I'm working with a specific guy that I haven't worked with, I'll look him up on Pornhub or Twitter and see how big his dick is and how
Right.
he performs. And then we usually meet on set and we get to talk. But I've had times where I didn't know who I was working with because the person that I was supposed to work with canceled. So I would go on set and not know who I'm working with until they would get there. So it
Right.
really depends on the set, really.
Okay. Then, of all the things that you've heard about porn stars working in the film industry, what is something that we on the outside have no idea that happens every time at a set? Or what are the things that maybe happen often, Because I can remember like being in high school, there's always the talk of the fluffer, right? There's a
Yeah.
fluffer. There's like that. Is that real? Like,
No.
no,
No. You know who a
no.
fucker is? Their hand. Or if the girl's like really nice and like
Huh?
she wants to, she'll like suck his dick to get him hard.
Right.
But for the most part, you have to come on set, like, either you have a Viagra or you
Huh.
shoot your dick, because you have to keep it hard. I
Right.
think I always say this because it's like the male porn star goes through a lot than the girls because we can put lube, we can use
Sure.
it, but the
Right.
guy, like, he has to keep it hard. Even if he wants to come, he can't come. The
Right.
director tells you when to come. Like, you're just the dick. Like, I
Yeah,
always say, "You're just my dick," because people
you're
are gonna
just
be
there.
using your dick to masturbate because 'cause they're thinking they're fucking me, so I'm sorry,
Right.
like, we don't really love each other, like,
How
it's
long does that go? Like, how long does a guy have to actually stay hard
so
on average?
well, so for pictures, so this is what we do. So we do pretty girls, this is what we call it. So our pretty girls are, like, the pictures that they use for promo and for the box covers and the stills. So the sex stills are, like, we run through all the positions that we're gonna do on video, but we take pictures of it. So, like, when they
Uh-huh.
do a screen grab on Pornhub or on a website, that's the picture that they use.
Okay.
So that's what a date like, we take photos and then video. Depending on the company, they'll do the opposite. But for the most part, 99% of the time, we do photos and then video. And for video, they put us in the most uncomfortable positions.
Uh-huh.
In our sex life, we would not be fucking a certain like reverse doggy where it's like the girl's like in the front and you watch her tits bounce while she's like
Yeah.
right dick. Like that's not real. Like that's just for camera. And I didn't
Right.
know that
Okay.
because I never really had sex like that. But in video,
Right.
you have to do that, especially when you have like big natural tits or like big
Mm,
tits in general. They love those positions for us.
I
So
see.
there's like certain positions that they put us in depending on the body type and the girl. If she's like a flexible tiny petite girl, they're gonna lift her up. If she's a thick girl, they're gonna have her in 69, but like spreading in a different like angle so you could see the penetration but also see like the POV and the
Right.
it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I get that obviously because also
Yeah,
these directors and people behind it, they've
it's
got to be worrying about all sorts of things that
mhm.
we're not thinking of, you know?
Yeah.
It's just a whole new world. But you mentioned like are then guys just straight up by the way, you didn't answer the question. How
Oh,
long? So how long?
ooh, they have to keep their dick hard for, like, maybe 1 or 2 hours.
1 or 2 hours. Okay. And
Yeah,
these
like
guys
a
work
half day.
how much did they work? Did they work about the same like you
Mm,
guys?
so we get to set they get to set, like, maybe 2 to 4 hours after we do because we have to get hair and makeup done, we have to take our pictures, but once the guy gets there,
Mhm.
it's time to go, like, it's time to shoot the scene.
I see.
But I they have to keep their dick hard, like, in the sex for at least an hour
At least an hour.
because they like the sex to run for, like, 30 to 45 minutes in the scene.
Uh-huh.
So, in between those times, you have to keep your dick hard because we're moving
Wow.
positions, we're moving to the couch, to the
Uh-huh.
bed, but you have to keep it hard. Yeah.
Okay. So are you there's got to be a whole lot of funny does anything come to your mind just in general that is just like dead ass funny of shit that's happened to you while you were filming? Was there a guy that absolutely it just didn't work? Or is there a girl that was just laughing at a guy? Or is there you laughing with two girls? Like there's got to be some crazy funny stories that have happened to you. Anything
Yeah.
come to mind?
Yeah, like, whenever we have to read scripts and they're, like, ridiculous, where there was one where the guy, like, he was, like I was a nurse,
Uh-huh.
and the dude had, like, this, like, fake like, his head, like, got crushed and it's, like, some and he had, like what are those called? I don't even know, but, like, he broke his leg or something, and it was
Right,
just, like
right.
it was hard to keep a serious face because we kept laughing, so, like, just, like, reading most of the time it's, like, the script or, like, if we've like, I queef or fart or,
Uh-huh.
like,
Yeah.
um, that can be awkward too because 'cause I'm just, like, if
Do you
I
guys
fart
not just do you have to just keep going? Like, do you have to just power through that moment, or can you, like, take a second and laugh because it's
we
like,
could
okay,
yeah, we could take a second and laugh and then
okay,
keep going because we all like, it's work, we don't wanna
yeah,
depending on, like, the shoot location and everything, we're rushed. So, I mean, I had an awkward where I almost broke a guy's dick. This happens a lot where I
what
was
do you mean
riding
happens a lot? What
Oh,
happened?
no, this is not I thought I was, like, the only person. I was like, "Oh my god, I almost broke" like, I was so embarrassed, but my friends are like, "No, it happened to me too, you're fine."
Okay,
Where I was in a riding position, I was getting really into it,
okay.
and the guy's dick, like, went,
Oof.
curved back,
Oh, no.
and he legit, like, was crying, like,
Ugh,
I'm like, I could like, he almost broke his dick.
ugh.
So that can happen, like or when the guy comes too fast. Oh my god, that's, like, so awkward.
What does that happen on the scene? Like, does the director just walk in and just be like, "What the fuck,
Oh,
Dave?"
yeah, like, in a certain position, like, that he I guess the talent loves or
Uh,
whatever, he comes and, like, it can fuck things up because you're just like, "Well, great, now we have to wait for him to get hard again because once a
yeah,
guy comes, you have to give him space
yeah, yeah.
to get hard again, so that can be, like,
Okay.
awkward because 'cause you're like, "I'm into it," the guy thinks, like, you're actually, like, into it with him when really, I'm just putting on a performance, like, I don't really like you, but, your dick feels good, but
So
it's
does
like
that then I got a question for that. So
Mhm.
because this is, honestly a really unique opportunity. So when we as guys are seeing porn and we see our all your reactions and all that stuff, nothing, nothing's real. Nothing. Everything you're putting out there as a porn star, all your looks, all your stuff, all the intimacy, all the look in there, nothing, huh?
Uh, you know what? It's real in the moment, but when those cameras turn off, I'm like, I go to the
Mhm.
restroom or I go hang out on my phone. Like
And you're just like, whatever.
I don't like you like that. You're just like we're both performers. We're both here for work. We're both, here to make a name for ourselves. So I
Right.
don't really like obviously it's real because it's sex, but like
Sure.
it's not real because I'm not really into it like that, but I do get in the moment where I'm, like, kissing them and I'm in the moment, but once those cameras are off, it's
You
I'm
separate
not
that.
really into it. Yeah, I separate. I have a
Uh-huh.
separation of real and fantasy.
Yeah. Okay. Is there a scene or is there something that you haven't yet done that you're hopeful for? Do you have like a dream set of people that you want to work with, or is there like a dream scene of some kind that you're working towards? Or
Like, I'm actually looking forward to whenever I do my first gangbang scene.
okay,
Um Yeah, that's something I really look forward to because I've never really experienced that in real life.
Uh-huh.
So whenever that does happen, I'm looking forward to that because that's gonna be like I love watching it, like not masturbating to it, but I love watching gangbang scenes because I just
Uh-huh.
think they're so hot.
Right.
So I just and especially with hentai, like I love watching gangbang hentai. So like seeing like that's like something I look forward to in my
I see.
career.
Is that not something, I mean, at your status, because what's the average
The lifestyle.
duration? Is it really 6 months or like that, like I
Oh,
said, or
okay. So I've been doing this for like I'm gonna be in doing this for like 4 years in September. So there is a lifespan to us. It really depends on the person though.
I mean,
Like
yeah.
luckily for me, I've been able to hold out 4 years without doing anal.
Okay.
It just really depends on the popularity of the person, really, because some girls they're rushed into doing it, and luckily, I've been able to hold off on it. And because I hold off on it, I get the most money out of it because
I
I'm like
see.
a very established porn star. I have my followers, I have my fans, I have all these networks of followings where because I have that, because I'm popular and very requested, I'm able to hold out, and I'm gonna do it eventually.
Sure.
But there is a lifespan to it. Like if you hold off for like a long time, then
Uh-huh.
obviously you're kind of like you kind of fall off, they
Yeah.
say. You kind of fall
Yeah, yeah.
off.
I see. Okay. Well, in in that sense, so you don't necessarily have a set time then for you for when you're just going to be like, all right, you know what? I made everything I need to make. Or maybe you have a number. I don't know. Maybe you just like, all right, once I get to this point, I'm good. I've got my philanthropy cash bag, got my 100 mil, and I'm good. Or are you thinking I could very well be, someone who's in this industry for a good 15, 20 years? Would you be fine with that?
No.
No.
I love what I do, but honestly, like I want to have my own family. Like I would love like my one of my main goals in life is like I want to be a mom because
Sure.
I'm the oldest of a lot of siblings, so that's
Okay.
like always been a goal of mine. But realistically, I still want to be in the industry, but I don't want to be a performer.
Gotcha.
So I want to be. I originally I wanted to be a clinical psychologist, but I love movies and screenwriting. So maybe write some scripts for porn,
Yeah.
direct, do something in the industry. Still be heavily active in it, but not be shooting.
Gotcha.
So for performer, maybe in the next. I'm not going to be doing this for more than 5 years.
I see.
So like
So you're
I'm in
almost
my
done.
no, 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 I mean, like, for 5 more years, like,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I'll be
Another
done,
5 years.
because I told my fans, "When I start doing DPs and gangbangs, I'm out, like, peace
I
out, like,
see.
I did what I need to do, I gave you guys that content, but I just wanna do my own stuff." I love
Sure.
doing YouTube, I love doing Twitch, I love shooting my own OnlyFans
Uh-huh.
stuff, so, those professional scenes will always be out there, but realistically, I wanna travel, I wanna shoot porn where I travel, I wanna eat, I wanna vlog, and
Yeah.
when you are doing professional mainstream porn, you have to be on a set schedule, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
I like to be like, "Tomorrow I wanna go to New York," but when you're shooting for companies, you can't do that.
Right.
You
So
have
where do
to
you want to go, and where is the world going to take you? Like, do you have a place where you want to live and get out to,
Mhm.
and
Yeah, I wanna live in New York, I wanna live in Japan for a while, like, I just really I really wanna live this anime girl lifestyle that I've already been living, but to
how have
the
you not started learning Japanese then?
I know a little bit of Japanese because
Okay.
I watch my anime and hentai and subbed.
Okay.
So I know a little bit, but I do want to learn the language, and it takes a while. I would love to go back to school and take that as one of my courses is Japanese. So I still have a lot of time. I'm still really young, but I do like to prepare myself for the future. But
Totally.
those are one of my goals.
Okay. Okay. So you haven't been to Japan then yet?
No,
Okay.
what's funny? I've always wanted to go to Japan, but then I didn't have the money, and so when I got the money, this whole lockdown happened, and
Uh,
I'm too scared to fly overseas now. Like I don't
yeah.
even
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
to Europe or anything. I'm so scared to fly.
You're scared of flying. There's nothing to. Well, you've flown before.
Yeah. Like in the like cross
In the
country, but
US. Okay. So
yeah,
your longest flight is maybe from LA to New York then, like 5 hours.
mhm. Like
Okay.
6 hours. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. My longest is probably 16. I think it was to South Korea.
Wow.
Uh, I've
Okay.
been to I've been to Japan.
Oh,
You are
whoa.
going to love Japan.
Oh, I know
Everything about it
that.
is it's otherworldly. Like I've been to Tokyo.
Mhm.
Tokyo's crazy. Everything
Mhm.
is I can't use any other word besides it's just crazy. People are really cool. Not a whole lot of English
Yeah,
unless you're in the right setting. Uh, you know.
it's a
Um
culture shock for sure.
Oh, total. But if you get a chance to when you go there, and I cannot remember the name of the mountain, they took us up. I was there for a tournament, a soccer tournament, obviously,
Mhm.
and they took us up in this crazy mountain, just winding. You know, those places where you gotta like you're driving on the edge of the cliff. You know, with the to try and get there, all the way up to there, up to this mountain, and I've never, still in my life, I've been to maybe like 60, 70 countries. I've never been in a place more peaceful than this. It was just up in the middle of nowhere with this field. It's yeah. So anyway, I
Mhm.
second that. You definitely do have to go. Before we finish though, why don't you tell everybody here what they're going to find on your YouTube channel and Twitch and all this other stuff? Because I mean, with your wide range of interests, what to
Yeah.
go, where to go to see this? Did I see Minecraft on your bio also as well? Like, are you a gamer or
Yeah, I'm a gamer, so I
you
play
play
on
FIFA?
I actually don't play sports games.
Oh my god. All right. Well, when you play sports games, sometime we'll have to play in FIFA. Uh, we're gonna try and do some stuff like that on Twitch and all this stuff. But okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
Uh,
What's on Twitch?
so I just stream video games. I've just started getting into doing e-dates. So
What's
it's
that?
like e-dates are like speed dating, but on the internet. It's like really funny. They're funny. But I
Okay.
started doing that too with my porn friends. Like bring them with me to do the e-dates, and I get them dates with like fans and like random Twitch
Okay.
streamers. So
Okay.
that's
But like, are they streamed so we can watch you date or?
yeah, you can
Oh,
watch.
okay.
I just did one recently on my channel. If you're like a sub, you get to see like all the previous streams I've done, so you can watch it on there. But I just like to like be entertaining on Twitch because people get to finally see my personality because I'm like this super chill person. I'm just, like a normal person. I
Right.
just happen to be a porn star. Like sometimes I get people watching me and they're like, "You're a porn star? I didn't even know." The same
Yeah.
with my YouTube. Like I love food vlogs. Like that's my thing on YouTube. I love watching food vloggers. So on my channel, I just do like food vlogging. I do anime reviews. I usually tell people what to watch for the season. Uh, just like lifestyle, just people getting to know me
Sure.
better and seeing that I'm actually a human and a normal person like everyone else. That's kind of one of my main goals in life is to kind of normalize porn stars and adult entertainers because even though we do what we do, we all love sex, but we just happen to do it on camera. So I want like the next generation. So when, they do get into what we're doing, I want them to like also, see us as people. And I think we're starting to get into that. Like people are like finally accepting us as people and, we're getting all these brand deals and sponsorships. We're finally getting over that stereotype or that I think you said it earlier. Just misconstructions of us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have never lived in a time where it was possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I cannot imagine what would have needed to happen for a professional soccer player and a porn star to have a conversation on a podcast. Like that it just doesn't happen. Like that would never happen. So we live in this weird world now where we can have a long form conversation and people who would never like see this conversation ever get a chance to just see like how these two people would interact. And it's like I go through the same things that you do, just in a different stereotype. Like people, you know what the thing is for professional athletes. Like we're dumb, we don't care about intellectual stuff, we don't read. They'll just go down the list. Like it's all the same stuff. And so part of our journey as well is to like branch out. That's why we have Golorami Languages, where we speak languages. That's why we have a podcast where we can just have cool people on to talk and to learn. And your experience and your whole life experience, I have no understanding of that whatsoever. So everything that you say, when I go back to listen to this, it's gonna be like, all right, that's a viewpoint on life that I could never have even imagined to have. And so that's our goal on the podcast, is to just get that, So
Mhm.
awesome. We will link to all of your stuff right there on the side. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, then it's in the description box. If not, it is in the show notes. Violet, this was awesome. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, no worries. Guys, we will see you later. Peace.